welcome to Lunchtime Politics, reaching you live from our global headquarters here in the nation's commercial nerve center, Lagos. I'm Jeffrey Uzanga. Here's what's coming up on the program right now. Explosion reportedly rocks State Secretariat of the Action People's Party in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital, destroying window of the facility. Nigeria Labour Congress insists that the federal government and the police must apologize for invading its national secretariat. Disagrees with the explanation of the police that it was not an invasion but a hot chase for a suspect within the premises of the Labour House. And reinstated Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, said to resume work, asked staff to resume, notify banks carrying out transaction with the recently sworn in DG's office that such transactions are illegal. Thanks again for joining us on the program. Our responsibility on the program, as always, is to track happenings within the polity. And we will now, first, before we get to the other issues of the day, the Nigerian police is holding a youth summit in the nation's capital, Abuja, and we understand that the IGP of police, Kayode Egbetoko, is giving his remark. Let's take a listen.
Both timely and relevant. It serves as a reminder that the strength and future of our nation rests in the hands of our youth. Their role is pivotal in driving social change, redesigning our security architecture, and advancing sustainable development. Let us harness the energy, creativity, and idealism of our youth to build a safer, more secure, and prosperous future for all. I am proud to acknowledge the vital role of our youth. I am proud to acknowledge the vital role our youth play in shaping our nation's future. The Nigerian Police Force is committed to creating a secure environment that empowers our youth to realize their full potential. Our involvement in this summit highlights our belief that young people are indispensable partners in achieving national security and sustainable development. This year's theme aligns seamlessly with our strategic objectives, emphasizing the youth's crucial role in safeguarding our nation. Their contributions extend beyond mere participation in security initiatives. They embody the values of patriotism, volunteerism, and individual potential that fortify the social fabric of our communities. We are dedicated to supporting and empowering our youth as active agents of change and leaders in building a safer, more prosperous Nigeria. We remain unwavering in our commitment to the safety, security, and well-being of our youth. We are dedicated to protecting their rights, promoting their welfare, and providing opportunities for their growth and development.
That's the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetoko, speaking at the Nigeria Youth Summit on the back of the International Youth Day, which is today, August the 12th. And so that's him coming in, giving his remark as far as the youths are concerned in joining hands with the police to ensure we have a safer society. But let's move away from that to head now to Port Harcourt, where an explosive device is suspected to have detonated at the Secretariat of the Action People's Party in Port Harcourt, the state capital. The explosion, which reportedly occurred at midnight, shattered the window near the impacted area. The Rivers State Police Command has deployed 2 security vehicles and personnel to the scene in the new GRA area as routine activities are going on within the premises. The APP, which is relatively unknown in Rivers State, gained attention recently after securing and decorating a building in the Highbrow area of Port Harcourt to host a secretariat. It is rumored that the party is backed by some members of the People's Democratic Party who are aggrieved with the current handling of the affairs of their party in the state. The party and the police have not spoken on the incident. The recently reinstated Deputy Governor of Edo State, Mr. Philip Shaibu, has warned banks carrying out transactions with the Office of the Deputy Governor of Edo State without his express consent about the illegality of such transaction, maintaining that according to the judgment of the Federal High Court, which reinstated him, his office has never been vacant. Mr. Shaibu, in a video broadcast obtained by Channels Television, also directed staff of his office, He had to resume work since his reinstatement to do so or face the consequence. He also disclosed that he was saddened by the killing of a police officer attached to the APC governorship candidate in the state for the September election. The attack on his convoy on the day of his return to Edo State following the delivery of the court judgment, noting that he was informed that some suspects had been arrested. Mr. Shaibu in the broadcast said he had, upon his resumption or return to his office, requested the governor's approval for reinstatement of his aides, but was still yet to receive any response to that effect.
I am issuing a clear directive to all staff within the Deputy Governor's office whom have not yet returned to work to resume forthwith. Failure to comply will result in appropriate sanctions. In line with the judgment, the office of the Deputy Governor was never vacant. In this regard, all transactions that would have been done in my absence remain illegal, null and void, and of no effect whatsoever. I want to make it known that any bank conducting business with the office of the Deputy Governor of Edo State without my explicit approval does so at its own risk. Nevertheless, I want to reassure my dear people of Edo State that I am back in my role as the Deputy Governor of Edo State, ready to perform my duties, fulfill my responsibilities, and deliver on the promises of democracy.
And that's not all that is coming from Edo State. We can tell you that the national leadership of the People's Democratic Party says the exit of some of its prominent members in Edo State will not affect its fortunes in the forthcoming governorship election in the state. National Publicity Secretary of the party, Mr. Debo Ologunagba, said at this at a news conference in Abuja, maintaining that the PDP remains unshakable owing to the pedigree of its governorship candidate in the election. The PDP spokesperson describes comments on its candidate by some members of the APC as failed attempt to discredit its candidate.
Because you don't win now, that doesn't mean the party should die. And so that must be emphasized. So when people don't win a primary election or any election and they said we're leaving the party, I don't think a party should be blackmailed to begin to say, oh yes, they are important, because not one man is a party. It's about people's view. And in the people's view, it's in your interest to stay in so that you can achieve your own aspiration and objective. So, in Edo State, irrespective of what you consider now, because of the candidate that we have, Asue is savvy, he's compliant, is Asue Igudalo, O2, that is oxygen. Okpebolo is carbon dioxide, that's why we can see. So, when Oshomole was struggling and stuttering and stammering on TV, he did not understand these facts. So we understand. The only reason they're doing that is that they're confused. They have unsellable candidates. They have a man who has no capacity. The man who is afraid of you. And these are the people he should be responsible to, because through you he can sell himself and his program, if any. And I wonder what APC can sell anyway in Nigeria today.
All right, the season of politics is upon us, so you'll be getting more of that as we get towards September the 21st for that first off-cycle election before we head to Edo State, which is just a neighboring state to Edo State, for the November election. But let's tell you that in the meantime, the Nigerian Labour Congress is demanding an apology from the federal government and the Nigerian police for invading its national headquarters late night last week. The NLC raised an alarm over how armed policemen had raided the Labour House, beating up a security operative, accessing multiple floors and carting away books from their library in search of seditious materials in connection with the End Bad Governance protest. In response, the police afterwards said it wasn't a raid, rather in a well-coordinated or lawful operation. They were in a hot pursuit of a foreign national implicated in numerous criminal activities across Nigeria and other African countries, who uses rented shop within the building as a front for its criminal activities in Nigeria, an explanation the union rejects. In a communique by the NLC NEC, It maintains that for desecrating its headquarters, the government and the police must apologize and ensure their safety is guaranteed, while calling on government to be more accountable and stop being hostile to dissenting voices who hold opposing ideologies. And at the core of our conversation, that invasion, is it an invasion? Is it a raid? Is it a hot chase for a criminal? Well, depends on what side you're listening to. The police have said theirs, the Labour has said theirs. We're being joined on the program now by the General Secretary of the Nigeria Labour Congress, who joins us via Zoom, Mr. Emmanuel Ugwaja. Mr. Emmanuel, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's begin with a few housekeeping questions. So the last time we spoke to a Labour official, I think it was last week, that should be Mr. Ochenekwe, one of your officials. He has said that you were not reporting to the office because of safety concerns. So my question is, are you guys back to your office? Are you now operating from your office, or is it still being barricaded?
We're not operating for the office, not on the basis that is still barricaded, but on the basis of our fears of what might have become of the building, because the watery position of the police has heightened our fears that there is more to it than meets the eye. So we're keeping away until we get a forensic audit that can assure us of the integrity, security integrity of that place that is available for our use. So that is the situation.
So let's contextualize it properly again. Do you have police presence there at the moment?
Visibly, no. But invisibly, we don't know. And that is what we want to find out.
Okay, let's begin to look at some of the core issues raised as far as the police. Let's begin with some of the responses of the police as far as this is concerned. Police said they did not know that that place was your secretariat. And you said that's untenable. Why?
Even by you should know that Nigerian police, for crying out loud, that says they were investigating what was amounting to an international investigation, will then tell you they didn't know that a 12-floor high-rise building, Pascal Baffer Labour House, that is within the same area with Louis Edet House, that several police personnel have come to have visited, will now suddenly become invisible to them because they were carrying out an investigation. It means they didn't know what they were doing. It must be a sham, because it would be shocking if we even had the Secretariat tucked away in a remote area in Gwagwalada or Lugbe or any aspects, and they make such a statement. It would have shown a complete compromise of their investigations. But it becomes more laughable that a high-rise 12-floor building that has kept the Nigerian Labour Congress for over 2 decades will now be something that was unknown to Nigerian police. I shudder to take that from the Nigerian police. It means we're not safe. It means taxpayers' money is being wasted if Nigerian police does not know that Nigerian Labour Congress occupies Labour House in the central business district of Abuja. And then they said they were conducting an international investigation. That's a sham, because they are ridiculing our nation. How would they put such proposal? How would they put such findings to other countries they claim were impacted by the activities of the phantom they said they were chasing? We don't want to believe that. It doesn't add up. And it can't be coming from an investigative arm of Nigerian police. It's shocking that they can make such revelation. It doesn't make sense.
So one of the things they raised in their statement, which I would like you to speak to as the General Secretary of the Congress, which is the fact that they said what brought them into that premises is that one of the shops rented within that premise. I haven't entered your premises, so I can't speak authoritatively as to the layout of the premises. So they say one of the shops within the premises is being rented by this unknown individual, at least unidentified yet individual, who is a foreigner. He uses the shop as a front while he carries out nefarious activity across the country and the sub-region. So as a labor union, have you checked? I want you to speak to that and find out whether exactly you've gone back to know where this particular shop is and whether it is true what the police is saying.
There is a room on the second floor, a bookshop. It's called Eva Valley Bookshop, where they deal on books and magazines. It's not. It's an open business that people go there to buy books. People go there to buy magazines. So I don't know how that transforms to be an illegal business. And if the police were then investigating it as an illegal business, does it then make sense to you that they will leave the shop and then head to the 10th floor headquarters of NLC, 10th floor, the 10th floor where the president of Nigerian Labour Congress operates from, 10th floor where the general secretary of Nigerian Labour Congress operates from, 10th floor, which is our administrative hub. What is the link between 10th floor and the second floor room where the bookshop they allege to be where they were searching for was? The bookshop is not owned by Nigerian Labour Congress. So what were they doing on the 10th floor? And how would you have conducted the investigation that has suddenly given you an idea that this monster was operating all over Africa or across several countries, and then you nailed him to a shop in the NLC building, and you didn't know it was an NLC building? Then clearly that is that compromises the investigation. I will be shocked that somebody, if somebody makes such a report, even on a Nollywood script, I'm sure the producer will say, we can put this type of, that it will look more like comedy than a detective series. So I don't understand what they are talking about. Send your channel's crew, they will show you it's on the second floor. We'll have 12 floors in that building, and there is a world of difference between the 10th floor and the second floor, 8 floors in between. So by no stretch of imagination, not that of height, not that of seeing or touching or listening, that will make you imagine that there is a correlation between 12th floor and the second floor. No, it doesn't add up.
All right, so clearly, you say it's 12th floor, so without even visiting the facility, second floor and 10th floor, they are worlds apart, literally. But going back to that floor, who did the NLC rent it out to? Is he a Nigerian or a non-Nigerian? Because these are the questions we will ask the police at the end of the day. But first, since you house this facility or this business within your premises, you're in a better position. The person who is renting, is he a Nigerian or a non-Nigerian?
The building is managed for us by a management organization called Business Towers Limited. So we are not in the business of real estate management. That particular rental has to have been done by the Business Towers Limited, which manages the building. And the police ordinarily would have known that. All
right. I know that you are demanding an apology. In fact, let me see, I can get to it. You even said that the next session directs the leadership, I guess the federal government now, to hold press conference soon as to address all the issues, maybe all the issues that you've raised, as well as tender an apology. Why is an apology quite important to you? Beyond the, what is more important? Is it the apology, or government should come clean on why it invaded your premises beyond the explanation of the police that you've clearly rejected?
We are hoping that they will come with a more accurate, a more concise, a more believable story. And that by the time they come with such believable story, they will have the courage, they will have the decency to apologize to Nigerian Labour Congress for the invasion. That's the least we can take as civilized people, considering the trauma, considering the damage. We would have been talking in terms of monetary compensation. But we know that the country is basically impecunious and in dire stress. So the least we can demand as civilized, enlightened folks will be to get an apology from the government if genuinely they show concern, they show remorse from the error of judgment, if it was an error of judgment, or remorse from their continuous efforts to intimidate Nigerian Labour Congress. This is not an isolated matter. We have been having this funny attitude from the Nigerian police over a period of time under the watch of President Tinubu. You will recall that it was the same story in Imo last year. Within a period of 24 hours, they gave 3 different variants. They didn't have NLC president. They didn't arrest NLC president. At the end, they used a battered and brutalized, disoriented Comrade Ajero from police, who then now brought a story of protective custody. So we are scared of Nigerian police and the way they've been implementing the NLC. Just a week before that, barely a week to that, the FCT police commissioner with tanks forced Nasu and Sanu rally that they wanted to present a letter the Minister of Education on areas of salaries and salaries that they were being
Mr. Baja, if I'm important,
he confronted
my apologies.
With armored tanks as if they were criminals, knowing fully where these were regular folks. We had this.
Can you hear me, Mr. Baja? Just before I let you go, I want you had raised the question, just 30 seconds, that's all I have. You said they should stop harassment of those holding opposing ideologies. So are you saying that the government is hostile to dissenting voices and is poisoning the civic space in 30 seconds?
Clearly, that is what they're doing. Suddenly, they have moved to anything that is a dissenting voice. They call it treasonable felony. We were the first to be battered. You call for a rally, they tell you it's treasonable felony. Someone publishes books, they say it's treasonable felony. People raise up clothes, they say it's treasonable felony. They are ridiculing and trivializing our laws. We should be more circumspect the way we push out criminal pronouncements. So the police needs to get more serious. And that is what we're asking for.
All right, Mr. Ogbaja, I must thank you. Mr. Emmanuel Ogbaja is the NLC General Secretary. Thank you for coming on the program, and be safe out there. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you the rest of the story. Join us again. Welcome back. More stories now. As part of efforts to address the energy gap in Nigeria, the federal government says it is reaffirming its commitment to harnessing and utilizing renewable energy with the establishment of a renewable energy college to provide new skills for the exploration of various aspects of the energy sector to help mitigate the effect of climate change. Excuse me. Speaking in Ozara, Kogi State, the Minister of Science, Innovation and Technology, Ms. Uchen Naji, explained how the federal government is determined to address the manpower gap in the sector.
It's the groundbreaking ceremony of the first Barefoot Renewable Energy College of the Confluence University of Science and Technology in Kogi State. Top federal and state government functionaries and industry players converged on the premises for the event. The arrival of the host's governor, Mr. Usman Ododo, signifies the commencement of the event as it kicks off with the Chief Executive Officer of the Energy Commission of Nigeria, highlighting the challenges.
The Barefoot Renewable Energy Academy aims to bridge the energy manpower gap, driving innovation and competence in the renewable energy sector. Together, we are paving the way for a brighter and greener future.
The Minister of Science and Technology, Mr. Uche Nnaji, speaks on the need to transform the sector.
To achieve our mandate, the ministry, through the Energy Commission of Nigeria and an agency for the strategic planning and coordination of national policies in the field of energy, in line with the renewed hope agenda of our dear President, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is establishing a renewable energy college and academy in Kogi State.
Governor Usman Ododo reaffirms his commitment to the success of the program.
As the chief servant of the Conference of Opportunity, I pledge the commitment of our administration to the success of this project. It is a big leap forward in our national renewable energy mission as a nation.
The governor then leads the procession for the groundbreaking. The Barefoot Renewable Energy College, domiciled in the Confluence University of Science and Technology, Osara, Kogi State, is the first of its kind in the country and is aimed at providing clean energy for Kogi State and the nation at large.
And just before we go, just some quick update coming in from Rivers State. We understand that the Commissioner of Police, Tunji Disu, says his men are actively investigating that bomb explosion or that detonation that happened at the Action People's Party Secretariat in the GRA area of Port Harcourt. So that is the latest coming in from the police authorities. We can also tell you that there is a court case going on. The Rivers State High Court is currently giving judgment in the case filed by Mr. Emeka Beke challenging the dissolution of and his election of the APC ESCO in Rivers State and the subsequent appointment of Mr. Tony Okocha as a caretaker committee. So the seat of the chairman of the APC in Rivers State has also been in contention. The judgment will be out later today, being given virtually by Honorable Justice Prioko from the Rivers State High Court. So those are the stories we'll be following. We'll bring you the details as soon as we have them. And that's it on the program. Thank you so much for your time and company. I'm Jeffrey Uzanga. You've been served on Lunchtime Politics.